Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the Badass Buddha, Dr. Lori Monaco, coming to you from Ogden, Utah. It is early this morning at 6 a.m., and welcome. I am your chiropractic physician, your authenticity teacher, speaker, coach, specializing in mindfulness practice. I am your fat eviction specialist and soon to be author. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Sosita. Miss Lori is Sosita because I couldn't get on. Where is good morning, mi gente? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Good morning. It's gloomy. The Elsa, whatever the hurricane's name, hit this morning several places. It's been raining. So it's gloomy out here in Tampa, Florida. But hello, I'm La Margarita. I'm your Gladiator Guru. I am very tired for some reason. Headache. I have such a headache.
Oh, you have a headache? It's probably because of the pressure from the hurricane.
A piercing. I woke up. Maybe, I don't know. But yes, so I am your spiritual and creative healing life coach, your notary, your wedding officiant, your author and your artist, and your magically orgasmic Viva Cafe con Leche. So welcome. Today, welcome. I don't see anybody on.
I know. I think YouTube. I think there might be. Oh my God, I spelt it wrong.
That's fine. Thursday. You spelled it with the attitude. Happy Thursday.
Oh, there we go. That's because I just had like 2 sips of my coffee and I'm tired. I went to bed. I didn't fall asleep till like 2 a.m. and then I got up at 5:20, something like that. Because we're leaving here to go to Moab, Utah today. And we got back really late yesterday and I wanted to, do laundry and pack up some stuff. And it's just, next thing I knew, it was like 2 a.m. And so I was like, well, it is what it is.
That is, so you got, some sleep. How about the other day? I went to sleep at 5 the day before yesterday. That's probably why I had a headache. I was so tired yesterday. I didn't still get to bed early. So good morning, Ana Laura, Stephanie Nieves, Tiffany Bryan. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
But that headache might be from the pressure change, though, from the hurricane, because I know I've had that before when hurricanes have passed through. So that might actually be what's causing that, too.
Probably, because it's like really like right, both sides going across here. And I hardly get headaches. But yeah, so you must be tired. You must be tired, but it's a good tired, right? From the driving, your arms, your legs, then mentally trying to focus on everything, make sure that you get the best out of every moment that you're there. How are the dogs?
Well, the dogs, we put up in a doggy hotel last night because yesterday and last night because we knew we were going to have a full day. And, we're very restricted with the dogs, unfortunately, because like the irony is my teen daughter wanted to go shopping a little bit. So that was one of the plans to do without having the dogs there, because you can leave them in the hotel room. My big dog is fine, but the little dog will just bark and bark and bark, and then they'll get mad at us. So we were going to do that yesterday, but we didn't even get a chance to, because we just went up to, where did we go yesterday? We went to Twin Falls, Idaho. And we got up there. We didn't get on the road till about 10 by the time we dropped the dogs off. And it was just a whole day there. Like we went to, there's multiple falls up there. We went kayaking. And we did a lot of stuff that we couldn't have really done with the dogs. We might have been able to, but it just would have been more of a little bit of a headache, again, because of the littler dog, because he's so not socialized properly.
He's just a free spirit, all right?
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a nice way to put him. But good morning, Linda McBee, and Luis Sanchez is on, and Kimberly Sanchez.
Good morning, buenos dias.
Yeah. So, and by the time, and that is a 2.5 hour drive. So my intention was to go up to Twin Falls and then go east to a town called Pocatello, Indiana, and then come back down. But by the time we finished with, like, we grabbed a bite to eat afterwards, and it would have been an hour and 40 minutes to get to Pocatello, and then another 2.5 hours to drive back from Pocatello to Ogden, Utah. So at that point, it was like it was too late. So we didn't get to do that. And that was disappointing because Indiana is actually pretty nice. The intention was to go to southern Indiana and actually even hit Idaho. I'm not Indiana, I'm sorry, Idaho. And we were going to do Idaho Falls as well, but we just didn't have enough time. And Idaho's really, really nice. So the whole point is really, of this trip is really to see what feels good, to see if we want to maybe relocate there. So I don't know. I might have to take an extra trip out specifically to Idaho Falls and check that out. But surprisingly, it was really nice. It was weird. It was when you're in Twin Falls, it's pretty flat. I mean, you have hills, but it's flat. It's like a lot of open space, a lot of farms, mountains in the way distance. That's the only thing I don't like about it. They're far from the mountains. But then all of a sudden there's this freaking gaping crate, like gully in the middle of the town. And that's where the falls are. So it's like you're driving and you have the sign that says Twin Falls, Shoshone Falls. It says go this way. So you're like, falls, there's like no high peaks. You're going, where the hell could things be coming off of? The mountains are in the way back. Then all of a sudden you start to go down this windy road, down, and you go into this like really deep. It's like the idea of the Grand Canyon. It's like that, only it's not that wide, but not nearly. But you go down, then all of a sudden you're down into this, and you're not even at the lowest spot. So you go down and then you're in this like magic land. Like it's the weirdest thing. It's like the landscape changes drastically. And I posted those on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll repost to my personal Facebook page. And then you still have a ways to go down. So like we were only at an area where you could see the falls, and then you still had this drop to get to what's called the Snake River. And so that was at the Shoshone Falls. And then we went to another spot in Twin Falls, which was even lower, and we were right on the Snake River, and that's where we went kayaking. But it's just, and the city, like you could be at Home Depot and you like look out, and in the backyard it just drops into this gully. It's like creepy. It's like, but
I didn't know. I haven't been on social media. I was since like yesterday afternoon. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. It really was.
Did they both enjoy it?
Madison wasn't feeling too good, so she just opted to. She didn't want to do the kayaking. She loves kayaking, but she didn't feel like doing it. And so Charlotte loved that. It was the first time she did it. But yeah, the falls for sure. Like it was just, we just sat there. We had a picnic there. And then again, because Maddie wasn't feeling too great, so she sat on the blanket, and after we had a picnic, and Charlotte and I sort of explored the area a little bit and took more pictures. But it was just, it was really pretty. It's just the country out here is really, really pretty. That's why I've been trying to film when I was driving. It might get a little monotonous to people because I'm driving, but it's just to get a layout of what it's like, And for instance, today we leave to go to Moab. Now, Moab on the way Utah is known for their red rocks. Like that's what they're known for, And that's all we're going to see is because the trip down, we're going to stop in Salt Lake City, and then we're going to continue down, and it's just all red rock around Moab. So that's going to be really, really pretty.
Oh, even when you look back on videos, it's just like the magic is just you standing there looking at it, because you can't even capture.
You can't.
distance in video or picture.
Yeah.
So I understand exactly. But you want people to share it. You want people to see what you're seeing because it's so beautiful and breathtaking and different from what we know. And so I totally get it, because when I talk about Spain and everybody wants to ricochet off in whatever door they can get to fast enough, because they didn't experience what I experienced in Spain. So, but you want them to get just a piece of the magic and the beauty, right? Of that you just want to go like that to it. So I'm totally with you. Keep filming, because I see the beauty, because I know what that beauty is that you want to capture to share. And that's beautiful that you take the time out to want to share on your trip. People, it might be what you said, monotonous, like, oh, she's on the road again. But it's the curves, it's the slight color change of the rocks on the side of the highway. It's the greenery. Like, yeah, the grass is green, the trees are green, but if you look closely, they're different shades of green that together they just form this like breathtaking sight. So yeah, keep sharing, because it is beautiful. I get your message. How many here online get her message? Sharing the simple beauty of Mother Nature, that we are always in such a rush or have our minds on other bullshit, that when we're driving, we don't even take the time out to look at the beautiful budding flowers coming out or the leaves so green, So I'm right here.
And the neat thing too is that I definitely recommend people experience that, whether you're going to like Utah, Idaho, you would experience this in Arizona as well. Because when I used to go to Arizona all the time when I was younger, and for spring break, because I have family in Scottsdale, and we used to go there for spring break. And to be able to go on a river when you're surrounded by desert or desert-like land is really interesting. Like, so yesterday we were in this beautiful river, which was so refreshing. It was 103 degrees out.
But dry. And because you're in this river, and even with 103 degrees out, because it's dry, you didn't feel that hot, and you're looking in this very refreshing, beautiful water, and you're looking around at the landscape, and it's so dry and brown that it like almost it contradicts itself. So it makes it that much more beautiful. And then you do have, like the difference between Idaho was you had trees. Whereas Arizona, when I went tubing, you're sitting there on the, on the river, and it's just brown, like it's really like brown. And then the water is freezing cold because it's coming off the mountain, so it's, but yeah, it's that's why today I'm actually really excited to film, because the red rocks from where we're going is just spectacular. I mean, this is, Utah has, I think, the most national parks of all of the states. And, we think in national parks, we didn't get to go to Yellowstone. We were hoping to get to go to Yellowstone in Wyoming, but it was just too far up, and it was just going to take too long on the trip. But there's so many national parks, and they're all so damn diverse and so cool. And but I think Utah has the most, because they have the most spread out land. Like there's nothing. It's like too hot to build, I guess, on anything. So. People get used to it. But I just wanted to say, like, when we think of going somewhere, we think of somewhere like either exotic or hot, or, where we live here, and I'm just as guilty for it. But anytime we have an opportunity to go somewhere, if I'm not going from Florida to Connecticut, I'm thinking somewhere else, like, Puerto Rico, Spain. And we're not investing in our own backyard and see the beauty. So I'm thanking you, for whomever I know likes to travel, that what you're doing is like rebirthing the love affair we should have with our country, because there are beautiful things, but they don't display it enough. I don't understand why it's not as enticing as even the Bahamas. It's 2 hours away from me, if less.
I know, and the flights are so cheap for you to go.
And they advertise, and I just think we need to remind our fellow Americans to fall in love with America again.
Our fellow Americans.
Because
Don't
it
be
is.
political.
I was trying to sound like Ronald Reagan. But yeah, so thank you for that. I mean, you awakening that little reminder that we do own beauty here in America, in our backyard. Because it is.
You do. Like even in Florida, like one of the cool things that you have in Florida that most people don't take advantage of are the springs. You have a lot of springs there. And even though a lot of people tend to like to go scuba diving there or snorkeling, I mean, anybody can do the springs over there, like the Crystal River. In fact, I want to actually take my kids down there because the Crystal River is where you get to see the manatees. The manatees, certain times of the year, the manatees like flock over there. The problem is they're starting to die off because the water, the grass is dying off that they eat. So they're dying off too. And which is not a good situation, but you know, like people don't realize like springs are amazingly cool because the temperature stays the same all year round and it's crystal clear and you can just like go in and snorkel and just see like really far down. And Florida has a lot of those around there, you know. But it's true. It's like, you know, but here, you know, what's interesting is when you're on this side of the country, people do take advantage of this area. Like you see, this is like RV heaven over here. Like, and especially fifth wheels and toy haulers. So people are not just taking their RV, they're packing up like their their 4-wheelers and they're really exploring with the family. And it's really, really cool. But it's true. It's like we always are looking to go elsewhere. But I think because of the restrictions in so many countries, we've kind of forced ourselves to stay here. And people are like exploring and learning. It's just, listen, we thought the gas prices were high in Connecticut. They're like $3.55, $3.60 here.
Why? Over here, it's $2.90 something.
Yeah. And in Connecticut, it's about $3.15 right now. So this is crazy over here how expensive it is, but it's because they know people are traveling. So it's they know that people have to do that. You know, they have to fill the gas. I have to fill the gas tank.
Of course.
Hi, Luis. Luis specifically said hi to me. You leaving Margie out of it. That's nice.
That's okay. Hi, Dr. Lori. Hi. It's okay, Lewis. Yeah. So I mean, the beauty of being able to do what you do, and for us to do what we do, is what we're always talking about. It's health, being wealthy in your health, and I think that now people are becoming more aware of it. I think the pandemic, as awful as it was, and the fear factor that they imposed on everyone around the world by stop the production of toilet paper to use it as a fear factor. Like people are like, why would they do that? Well, why not? If there's a shortage of toilet paper, you're not going to have company over. You're not going to have discussion. You're not going to break things down. So you isolate, listen to news, and you feel with fear. But to me, the pandemic brought so much more than that. And an awareness, right? And just a sharp awareness. And then you survive the pandemic, and then you suffer losses afterwards. And then you don't know what is what. But I think that during the pandemic, we should have learned more about ourselves, right? We should have grown in certain areas that were dormant. And I think that health was one of the most important ones. Taking care of yourself, whether it's you take vitamins, whether you're walking more, whether you're eating healthy. Listen, my sister called me the other day. She's like, Marge, are you going to go to Stephanie's house? That hurricane is going to hit you. And I was like, a hurricane? You know, anybody who knows me know I don't have regular cable TV, and I don't listen to the news.
Me either.
That is just me drinking the poison directly and blaming everybody around me. So, and I was like, we're having a hurricane? Like, I thought it was like days ago, right?
That was me too.
So I go out. I said, well, let me go get some milk so that I can have like for my coffee. and some cigarettes. So I went to Walgreens, and as soon as I walk out my front door, it like was pouring. And my car hit a big puddle and it's still making a weird noise.
Oh,
And
no.
so all that to say, I'm in Walgreens and I'm like, okay, I need milk. And I'm looking at stuff and I was like, I didn't want chips. I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to be like, what if the power goes out? So I made sure to get a whole bunch of candles and stuff. Frankie's on. Good morning. And I think because of the fat eviction specialist, and we were on this in this program, and when you eat according to this program, you're not bloated, you don't feel lethargic, you don't feel anything. That I think after many failed attempts and now I'm working it my way during what I'm doing, I had no taste buds for the potato chips or the ice cream or the candy. And I'm looking at it and I'm walking down the aisle like, yes, like growth. To me, that was growth. It might seem small to anybody, but for somebody who ate according to situations, this was perfect for me. This was such a like a celebratory moment for me, and I was happy. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. Not to say that I'm like strict on it, because sometimes it's not what I eat, it's when I eat, and I can go all day and it's like 7 o'clock at night and I'm like, fuck, I didn't eat today. And even though you'll have your salad with your chicken and your vegetables, it still doesn't sit right because you went all day and your body's like, what the hell are you doing to me? You know, you're either overeating or you're not eating, and then so. And I just think that in anything in life, right, that the wealthiest you can be is to have help to say, I'm gonna get up and go tomorrow. That's it, I'm going.
Well, I mean, what you're saying too is, well, I want to post to what Mari Luz said. So she said, here in California, there's so many beautiful and fun places to go, and some people go elsewhere. Yes, it is. It's like we're always looking. And bless you, Mari Luz, for getting up. You got me ahead by an hour because I'm in Mountain Time and you're in Pacific Time. So thank you for being here.
And active,
but it's true. I think that we do, like, listen, even in Connecticut, there's some really nice little spots in Connecticut, and we're always looking to go elsewhere. And then getting back to what you said, Gladiator Guru, that is all about habits. And the interesting thing is, one thing that I've learned while I've been on this trip, the whole point of this was to get out of the environment and gain a new perspective, have an open mind about stuff, because there's a lot of clarity that's got to come to me during this tour. And what I noticed was a couple of days, myself and my kids included, we were all sort of like tired and we didn't really feel like doing much of anything. It could have been the heat. It could have been, the driving. And we all went into our mode just like we did at home. So it's like one is on her phone, the other one is on the iPad, and I'm working, right? And I'm working and I'm just kind of chilling. And then I got tired and I just plopped on the bed and put the TV on for a little bit. And I usually do that when I'm exhausted. And I got mad at myself the next day. And I well, not mad, but I sort of forgave myself to say, okay, I needed that rest. But as I was driving, I'm going, it's funny. A lot of times will say that, oh, it's my environment. I got to get away from my environment to make the changes, because like I feel stuck. And that, while that is true, we still take our habits with us. Like we still take that mindset with us. So you have to not only get out of your environment, but you have to forcibly change your routine, because all you're going to do is just take your routine with you to the new place.
Yeah.
So what was yesterday? Yesterday was Wednesday. So Tuesday was a lost day. We ended up just literally like being in the hotel room, or doing stuff in the hotel itself. And I was playing like catch up with work, and I was frustrated by the end of the day going, God, I didn't post anything because there was nothing to post. Like we didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. So I'm like, okay, so we actually we went downstairs and we hung out a little bit. Like we played, like they have a lot of amenities here at the hotel, but I said, okay, that's it. I was so mad. I was like, okay, Wednesday, we're gone all day. Like that is it, and we did that, exactly that. Like we went all day, and it was nice, like we literally got home at like 10:36 p.m., from leaving the hotel at like 9:36 in the morning. So it felt good to do that, but it's just, that's just it. It's like, I want, when we're on vacation, that's the thing. Like when we think about it, when we're on vacation, like you go to these exotic places, you go to like Disney World or something like that. And you're like, oh my God, this is so much fun. It feels so great. And I'm so happy. And why can't I be like this all the time? Because you're not in your routine. You're not in your element. And that's why it's so exciting. It's because you're in this new space and you're behaving differently and your attitude is different. So, but honestly, like if you get going and you're in a space for a while, like we've been on the road now, we're in day 12. We've been on the road for 12 days. And I posted yesterday and I started off by saying, oh, we're on day 16. And then after I finished posting it, I was like, day 16? We're not on day 16. I can't seem to count. But so today's day 12 and we still have 9 more days of the trip, about 9 more days. So, but again, you're thinking, oh, 3 weeks is a long time. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to do so many things, but you still get into a little bit of that routine when you're away for that long a period of time, but the one thing it's taught me is I definitely could, I could be one of those people that buys an RV and just lives in it and travels. It's very cool to like check out all these states and just meet people and see things. It's really cool, but to do it at a slower pace, to be able to say, okay, I'm going to stay here for 3 days. I'm going to stay here for 3 days, knowing that you're taking your place with you. It's not that expensive. Staying in the hotels adds up. I mean, it really does, especially depending on where you're staying.
But you've been, your money has been spent wisely in those hotels, right? You've enjoyed yourself, safe.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like this one actually was cheaper than the hotel in, let me see, where were we? The hotel in, lost track of where we were. So we've been here for 3 days. Yeah, the one in Wyoming was actually for 3 nights was more money than this one for 5 nights. And then Denver's 3 nights. We're going to be in, outside of Denver, Colorado for 3 nights. And that one is more money than this one for 5 nights. And this one's nice because it had a little kitchenette and it's got like a room, like a big living space with an eating area. So it's going to be missed, it's going to be sad to see that part go, but nonetheless, it'll be fine. So, we're so busy talking and this was meant to be catch up. And we still want to do that because we have to catch up with you about your venture coming up. So let's set, if we can, let's do our intention and our mantra in the midst of this. And then let's talk about what's coming up for Gladiator Guru, because this is really exciting. So you have the intention for today, right?
Yes, I do. Un momento.
Good morning, Sandra. Sandra Molina.
Who's Sandra Molina?
She is on and we're saying hi to her. And remember, don't forget, everyone, make sure that you tell us that you're there. Say good morning, because especially sometimes the YouTube people we don't see come on, and it's really nice. And either everybody is away or people just don't want to hear us talk anymore. And they want when we have guests, because we don't have that many views this morning live. So, but that's okay. Those of you that are here, we're very happy. And we did have a guest come that was supposed to come on, Donna Lynn Riley, which we're going to reschedule. Donna Lynn Riley, we were very excited to have her on because she's this cutie pie. She looks like this Midwestern, just cutesy lady. And then meanwhile, she is like this bold badass. You wouldn't expect the topics that she wants to talk about. But she informed us the end of last week that her husband, who had been ill, passed away. So it was, so we rescheduled naturally, and we definitely have to send her something. But yeah, so that's why we ended up just having this moment to chat. So what's your intention? What would you like to set for the intention for the tribe this morning, Gladiator Guru?
Well, this it's very simple. For my intention today is to share that our intention creates our reality. Our intentions create our reality. That's my intention for you today, is to create your reality. Set your intentions. Be intentional. All day.
Nice. And the mantra is, I will live today and for every day of my life. I will live today and for every day of my life. Because who's going to live it if you're not going to live it?
When I thought, it's so funny that you said that, because here, I don't know if you can see, I'm where is it? It says mantra. Yeah. And that was going to be my mantra today, because I forgot which one is it. Life is beautiful every day. It's the same. It's the first cousin of what you just said.
Nice. So we're so intuitively connected. That's so fun. We do that all the time too. We're always managed to before we used to actually talk about it. Remember, we used to have a meeting and we would say, the mantra and you have the intention and this is what we're going to, and then
stop that. She just stopped. She just cut me off, mi gente. Just
and you did as well. Because you didn't do it either.
She cut me off. No, we're right now, the Badass Buddha had this trip planned for some time now. And she set her intentions, and look she's living her reality right now. But when she's back and when I'm back, which will probably be around the same time, we're going to start our clubhouse again. We're going to be, but it's like everybody, this is a time where the kids are off from school, we're doing things with families. So even we do those type of things. So when we come back, we'll be back, and not in routine, but we'll be back intentionally doing what we are supposed to be doing.
Just like Carmen always says.
We will be living
intentional.
Yes.
Be intentional.
And it is important to do that, but it's also important to realize that life does happen, and to learn how to bend with it without breaking. That's what's important, is learning how to bend with life's many curves, but don't break, because everything is fixable if you really put your mind to it and you set your intention to what your reality is going to be. That's when you're going to be faced with a lot of obstacles, and a lot of bullshit's going to come your way. And that's the test of whether you're strong enough to actually receive the blessings of your life. Are you worthy of it? And that's where all the curves come in and all the obstacles want to fall in your road. And it's all about seeing it through at your pace, because we don't work at anyone else's time, but just get it done.
Everything is fixable and figure outable. Mm-hmm. You can always figure out something. And so you said when you get back, so where are you going?
I leave today to Puerto Rico. I leave there for less than a week. I leave today and I return Tuesday. So we'll be filming in Puerto Rico Tuesday morning.
Fantastic.
And then I get back Tuesday, and then Wednesday I fly home to Connecticut to back on the Healing Boulevard. And that's where we will do my mother's ash ceremony. And now that the time is here, I say, do I want to let her go? Because her ashes are here with me. And grief is such a tricky little fucker, let me tell you. And for those out there healing over grieving and trying to get on the path to healing, Don't let anybody tell you how to do it.
Yes.
I don't care. Just don't let anybody, I don't care who that person is in your life. Everybody has their own system of grieving, and you're going to have to just fucking figure it out, because it's not nice. It's not comforting. And you're going to second guess everything. But I think what gets me through the day is that I always say that, you know, I carry those that I've loved that have transitioned into the next life. I carry them in my heart. So there's nothing materialistic that they could have left behind that I must have, that I must keep, because they're not in that. They're in my heart. Their spirit lives within my spirit. So, you know, we harbor all this material stuff trying to hold on, and I don't. But because it's my mom, it's like the ashes, and so we'll get over it. But that's what I'm going to go to Connecticut for. So I'll be there from Wednesday to Wednesday. So the Badass Buddha and I will meet up together and take more pictures, because we took quite a few pictures, but we're not posting as many pictures of us. I think they were all great, if I may say so myself. Ana says she follows the wonderful traveling girl in Puerto Rico.
So where you're flying into, you gonna stay in San Juan, or are you staying outside?
We're going into San Juan. I'm with my son-in-law, my daughter, and my grandkids. We're flying into San Juan. We're gonna stay in the Viejo San Juan for the first 2 days, or Airbnb, and then we're going to go to Cabo Rojo, which is a beautiful place, like with the water. Boquerón Beach. We're gonna stay there for like 4 days, and in between, we're going to be, I guess, doing things like the kids going swimming. That's why we're staying at the beach. But then I'm also visiting a lot of coffee farms and a coffee museum in Puerto Rico. And then, yeah, I'm meeting up with some friends. I'm gonna visit my aunt, my only aunt that still lives in Puerto Rico. So I'm gonna visit her. So we're gonna make it happen in 5 freaking days. It's gonna go by quick. But yeah.
It is gonna go by quick. Why didn't you guys just stay for an extra like 2 days? Why didn't you make it a full week?
Because my daughter, with her job, she took X amount of days off. Yeah, see, I'll be going in August again for a weekend. Go, girl. The tickets were pretty cheap. What they might.
Marilu said we put my mom's ashes at sea, but before we did that, my son got us a necklace. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know, they have the little mini urns too that you can.
I have the mini urn on my nightstand.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't. But it's on my nightstand. I have like a pewter, silver pewter one there. And my sisters, I have theirs too. So we each have one. Which is, you know, we celebrate life and we mourn death, knowing that it's the circle of life, it's the cycle of life. But who teaches us how to survive that, right? Who? Nobody teaches us that. So yeah. So I think when I'm in Connecticut, that's when the Badass Buddha arrives.
Right. Yeah, I get back the late the 17th. So yeah, well, and you said you were going to extend a little bit too, I think, right? You were originally going to go back on the 20th, I think. Didn't you say?
I have to be back. Yeah, I leave on the 14th and I come back the following Wednesday, which is the 21st. And then Thursday,
right.
Second, I have a 3-day training in Orlando. And then I have that weekend I have my barista training. So I will be a certified barista to get all readied up for my own coffee stuff. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of that. And anybody who knows me knows that I read something quick. If it interests me, I'm going to learn it from top to bottom. I hate sitting down in training modules and all that. I just hate it. I feel like my life is wasting away, like I'm melting into like a sand pit. So that's going to be difficult for me. But the good thing is that I will be, when I am at the barista training, it's all hands-on. So I'll be learning some cool stuff as well. But the other training, the 3-day training in Orlando, it's me sitting down listening to stuff. So I'm going to try to record most of the stuff. And, everybody knows their good points and their bad points. And me, I am not good at that kind of stuff. Even though I try and I sit there and I have to sit on my hands because I want to interrupt, or I'm like thinking of little short stories to write. So I never get when I'm sitting there wasting my life. That's how it feels to me. Try to link with her. Her story is.
So that's what Ana Laura meant, was that the traveling girl is an actual girl on Instagram. So that's her Instagram thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Keishla.
So, and Tiffany and Argenis are on. Good morning.
Buenos
Just talking about the both of you.
Oh, you know why? Because Henny is a Cancer, right? So Henny is keeping us all in line, because if you think I'm late, then you would totally despise my daughter, Tiffany. Good morning, Tiffany. I love you, boo-boo. So Henny is making sure that by 2:30 today, everybody is with him.
Oh, Henny, I don't envy you.
At the airport.
2 of them? You deal with 2 of them that way? I bless you. That's all I got to say.
I never lie about myself. So he wants to make sure that we're there early enough to check in and to chill and get something to drink before we board the plane. And I love that about him, because he knows me, and if you know me, you love me. You're not upset with me, because I don't get upset with you always trying to be on time. So don't be upset with me when I try to be on time. So that's how life is. We are who we are. And those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter. So I'm okay. I'm going to be 53 years being who I am.
Let Tiffany put, I see a saint, I swear.
Yes.
Look at Demi's on. Good morning, Demi. Good morning. Good morning. We're happy that you're here. And she, Demi's great too. So Demi was our guest on Tuesday, and she had, she subscribed to the channel. She got other people to subscribe, and we so greatly appreciate that. And we finally hit, I think our number now is 107 or something, or 105. And we were able to actually change the channel name now to include the actual name, which is really great. And Chenille is on. She says, sorry, she's late. No worries, Chenille. We're happy that you're here.
Yes.
So, oh, look, Demi, that's so cute. Thank you for the hearts. Love it. Love it.
It was such a blessing that she was on Tuesday.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And the friend you brought on, and that's how life is. It's about evolving, right? It's about meeting people and then filtering out. You're not going to like everybody you meet, but it's the effort you put into meeting them that matters, that counts.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, because that's how life is. Life is going to continue whether you like something or not. So you might as well give everything an A until you just have to discard it. What's the effort? Or what if you're so busy cutting things off that you just cut off 3 of your purposes? You just let 3 opportunities that's going to grow you into your purpose go, and then you're going to complain the rest of your life. So I like to meet everybody that comes my way. I'll meet them, I'll talk to them, and then you could know who's who. Because I'm not for everybody, but I'm always for me.
That's the important thing. As long as you're authentic and real, you're consistent, right? So nobody can sit there and say, oh, well, she's this or she's that. And if anybody knows you, they'll be like, no, that's not, obviously you don't know her, And I think, and it also gives people, when you're consistent like that, it gives people the ability to make the decision. They could decide, oh, I either like that person or I don't, and I want to hang out with them or I don't. And it's not done on false pretense. And if it is, it's their own assumptions. And again, somebody else could turn around and go, well, actually, they're not really not like that. What I admire about you is that you are, you've always been true to yourself, and you admit that you are not everybody's cup of tea. That's why you drink coffee. And so there's no pretending, So and I think that if more people were just that way, like if more people were just like, this is who I am, some of you might think I'm like a bitch or or I'd like to say assertive, but if you get to know me, then you'll know that that's one element of me, and it's only to be a certain way with certain things. But so I think that this has been, this show really has what we've wanted to have is a lot of growth for everybody. When we're talking, like we're talking about today, was catching up on what we were doing in our lives, what's happening. You've done a lot of back and forth. Think about how much traveling you have done in the last, right, since April, right? Wasn't it since April or March? Was it, when did your mother
pass? A week after my mom died, in March.
So, and granted, it's not like you weren't going to these like beautiful lands necessarily. You were just doing what you needed to do for that moment in time. And it was therapeutic, got you out a little bit. You stayed with your sister for a little while, and it was good. Now it's time, like once this little piece has passed, then it's going to be the next time you travel, it's going to be for your spirit, right? So we were talking about that. You were saying that, right? Did you find out for sure that Spain opened their doors?
Spain opened their doors for people like me. So, yep, I'm thinking of September, late September, early October. I will be in Spain, walking through Portugal to Santiago de Compostela. And that one's a 2-week journey. Oh, thank you, Demi. And like my mom said, that's right, tan fea como tan franca. So that's sacude. So yeah, and I'll be doing that, and that'll be the part for my healing, because if anything saved my life after being a full-time caretaker for Eric for almost 6 years, it was my I'm going to go to Spain, and just buying the ticket and going with no type of training, no type of walking, because I was taking care of him for all those years. And I just went, not knowing anybody there, not knowing where to change the money. I just said, fuck it, I'm going. I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And that's what saved my soul. And that's what made my spirit realize that, you know what, that assignment wasn't meant to break me. It was meant to guide me. And so now, shortly after that, becoming the caregiver for my mom, and then everything happened, everything shut down, and I try to go walking, but everything feels the same, like I'm at the hamster on the wheel. Like, yeah, after she passed away, I went to Vegas, to the Grand Canyons. I went home to Connecticut, and then from there, I went to Texas, and then I went back home to Connecticut, and I was healing with my sisters for like 2 months, and then I come back home, and it's like, it's still the same to me. And that's, so that's it. So now I'm just going to say Spain opened up, and guess what? That little bit of savings I had, fuck it, I'll make it up afterwards. I don't live my life, I got to have X amount of money. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, this is what I need for now. This is what I have for now. So I'm going, and I'm going to go. And I'm going to walk, and I'm probably going to swell my feet up again, but I'm going to meet amazing people. I'm going to have coffee in every little quaint village I stop at. And hopefully I get to lose some inches like I did when I walked the other time. And I'm going to free my spirit from all the sadness and sorrow that it still has. I am going to release the sadness from my body. And I don't care if I come back broke. That's what my kids are for.
Or you say that because of this experience and what you're going to be letting go and making room for, that the money will come.
Because I'm a money magnet. No, I don't mean like that. I mean, whatever depletion of my savings I'm going to do to make this trip happen, it's obviously not going to be there when I come back. But that's not to say that other avenues aren't going to open, because I'm working. I've been going to bed at 5 because I am working my plan. I'm trying to set everything up, and then where it's going to pay me, because I am La Margarita, the Gladiator Guru.
That's right.
So things will work in my favor. But as far as whatever I have in my savings right now that you could say, oh, look, It got there somehow. It'll get there again.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct.
Like
And
Laura say, que se foque.
yeah, you say, I love that space.
And that's how I'm gonna heal, and that's how I will. I'm almost done with my 4th book, so I'm happy with that. So I've been working a little bit on everything, even the merchandise for Viva, which will be coming soon. And the thing is, we cannot promote it until the Badass Buddha has all of hers, and we'll promote it together. So that's coming along, and I'm happy with that. So it's about, you know what, doing what you know you can do, asking for help when you need it, and then stopping when you know it's an idea you had that you want to do, but it's really not for you. Stop putting energy into a one-way street. You're not going that way. Focus on what is for you, what you can do. Even if it is a being of service to somebody, that's something that you can do that will always come back, because that's the gift of life. It's always the circle. So whatever you sow, you reap. Right. So, but you don't do it as a plan. You don't do it as a plan. That's where people get it mixed up. You don't do it as, okay, I'm going to help this person because I want this in return. That's not.
No, that's transactional.
You do it because you do it. Like, okay, I'm going to paint, for instance. I'm going to do this painting, but somebody calls me, hey, can you blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if I don't finish this painting now, you know what's going to happen. But guess what I did? I didn't. I went and I did it. Why? Because they bought me because they needed something. And you know what? It might not be like we're always going to be jumping for joy, because we're not saints. We're not angels. We're not going to be like, oh, just doing good deeds all the time. We are human with things we got to do. But when you stop to do what you do for people, like the Badass Buddha getting up early every Tuesday and Thursday on her vacation to show up and beautify your lives at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? This is what we do. And we do this because we want to do this, because we were gifted something to do and give. And that's how we receive our joy.
That's cute what Elisa said. When we asked our mothers for money, our mothers used to say, what do you want me to sell my
chocha? No, how about the other one, to pull their hairs out of there? Yeah.
And then Marilu says, I was in the same shoes going through cancer, take care of my mom through my sickness. When she died, it was hard. Then it became my time to heal. My husband and I started to do things for ourselves. Absolutely.
That's
beautiful. And even with caregivers, that we've talked about this before, that even in the midst of it, you have to take moments for yourself. But especially once that piece is gone, sometimes we forget how to do that. Sometimes you don't even have to be a caregiver to forget how to do that. You know, the moral of the story today is that it's just about, life. Life is not guaranteed. You know, we can't keep saying, oh, I'm going to help this person, or I'm going to do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just, you do have to have a boundary, and you do have to allow yourself that space. And so for Gladiator Guru to say, you know what, here's what I can do. I can sit there and say, well, before I go to Spain and do the walk again, I've got to have this amount of money, and I've got to have this blah, blah, blah put together. Or she could say, fuck it, I'm going to take this, I'm going to do it. And then the money's going to come to me. And because this was part of my path, and this was the way that I need to do it. Same thing with this trip, this tour. It was, it's not cheap to do this. And for me, there was deeper reasons, which I keep wanting to broadcast and explain in more detail what the deeper reasons are for me doing this tour. But it was one of those things where I actually had to. It wasn't even a, like, oh, I really want to do this. It was a necessity. And when Gladiator Guru said, I'm just going to do this, like, it opened and I'm going to go. She made that decision. This particular tour, I thought about it about, I don't know, 6 weeks. Like, I put it into my head, like, oh, I'd really like to do this 6 weeks. No, maybe 8 weeks before I was going to go. And then I didn't do anything with it until like 3 weeks later, where I started putting the itinerary together. And then 2 weeks after that, I actually got Sarah Salter to actually book everything. So it was 3 weeks before I was leaving. And while some people like, oh, how could you do that? Like, that's a lot of driving and planning and blah, blah, blah. I've learned one thing about myself, and Gladiator Guru just proved this with her. She's very similar in this sense. Sometimes too much planning gets in the way. Like, I know for me, this is one thing I've learned about myself, is that I get paralysis of analysis, meaning that if I'm thinking too much, I get stagnant and it takes too long. So sometimes it's just creating the intention and then just jumping off and doing it. Like yesterday, I do not like cold water. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I have been very intentional on this trip to make sure that I did things to get myself out of my comfort zone, even as simple as jumping my ass into a cold pool, because I'm that toe by like put the toe in and then go in, And yesterday we were at this beautiful lake. And again, I posted pictures on social media. And my daughter was like, the little one, she's like, come on, mommy, get in. And I'm like, oh, it's cold. And I said, screw this. I'm not doing this. And I just jumped I jumped in before she did. And it was like, okay. And that was it. And it was just uncomfortable just for that moment. And then it wasn't. And that's really the way life is. It's uncomfortable for that moment when we take that leap. But then it's not uncomfortable anymore. So the premise of today's conversation is don't be afraid to take that leap. Don't be afraid to leap into Puerto Rico and take these tours of these phenomenal coffee places. Don't be afraid to take that leap when you are saying goodbye to your mom and letting her go, the beauty that is. Don't be afraid to take that leap and go into Spain and have us all share in this experience that you're going to be on. And for me, I get back on July 17th late, but I'm already thinking I want to go somewhere before the end of the summer. Like, that's in my head. That's what I'm thinking. Like, what would it be to just pop in the car again? Like, now it's like nothing. It's like,
now
definitely not the car now. Like, no problem there. So, but that's the way it is. It's, for our goal for today was to catch up so that you could catch up to see what we're doing. But catch up in your life, catch up for yourself. Take a moment today and just sit quietly and think about everything that you're doing for the summer. Think about everything that you're doing for the rest of the year. Are you going in the direction that you want to go? Are you living your life to its fullest? And if you're not, then do something about it. Do something before the end of the summer. Do something this weekend that's different. And just go. Just get in the car and go. Who gives a shit about the gas prices? Who gives a shit about, go somewhere else? Just do something that's different that you've never done before.
Do something that's going to, enhance your life. It could be anything. It could be going to the movies after you haven't gone for 10 years, or an outside movie theater. Just do it. Thank you, Demi. Because tomorrow's not promised, and we don't know how long we have. My mother was healthy.
Yeah, she was. And then
the hospice said we were coming twice a week to once a week to once every 2 weeks. I don't know. I said, well, I better not lose you. This was on a Wednesday. Her numbers were great. Everything was great. She was alert. And then Friday afternoon, she had a seizure that she didn't recover from. And we watched her slowly die for a week. It was torture. It was painful. It was a tragedy.
Yeah.
So life isn't something that is going to wait on you to finally fucking wake up and live it. It's not going to wait for you. And don't complain and accuse other people of cheating you out of what you cheated yourself out of. And I don't care if it's you walking around the park every other day, if that's the adventure for you, where mine will be to fly to Spain. We cannot compare one another and what we do in our lives that should be better or less than what the other person's doing. Everybody lives their life according to what they deem to be important. And that's what's important. And that's what we got to respect. We're not the same. The thing is, get out of your own way and start living. Don't just sit there and wait for shit to happen. It's not going to happen. Opportunities are only going to knock for a certain amount of time on your door, and then what? And then you're going to blame everybody around you, because that's what happens. So don't do that. Hold yourself accountable to your life and live it according to you. And your life might be excitement of going out every other day and walking 6 miles around your park. But do it, because that is your life, and that's what makes you happy. Happiness should never be measured by what your neighbor's doing. It should be measured by how it makes you feel and how it tickles you all the way down to your core, and you get the goosebumps. That's your life. That's your excitement. That's your purpose. And then keep growing intentionally from that. But stop the comparison, because I'm not in competition with anybody but myself, because
that's correct.
I still know I should have did something different yesterday, but I got tired.
That's right. Honor yourself.
But, and I always choke on my own spit. Because I run my mouth so much. But be passionate about your life. If you're somewhere, I love music. Music is life to me. I sit here, I pump it in the car. I always have music on. And if you're like me and you're somewhere where you don't have access to music, but you're feeling some type of anxiety or you feel the overwhelmness of sadness, come on, that's when I reach for music.
Or for fun.
Listen to your heartbeat. That's music. That's music keeping you up and alive and ready to take the next step. Silence the noise in your head and just focus on your heartbeat. That should be the most beautiful sound we hear.
Yes, I agree.
And you can do it. Just lay down or sit quietly, put your hand over it and let your senses take over. Feel your heartbeat with your hand.
She's joking and she's still talking.
I'm still talking because this and love yourself. Because if you do all that, then what it says is you're gonna love yourself.
That's
and
right.
As Buddha, she said, I love myself enough to celebrate myself, and I'm going to bring my kids, and I'm gonna bring the fucking dogs, which she was very excited about, and I'm gonna do this no matter what happens. And guess what? She's doing it. So I celebrate you.
Thanks. And I celebrate you but that's again, it's just sometimes too much thought when sometimes we just have to say, a gazillion things could have gone wrong on this trip, but a gazillion things have gone right, because that's all I've been asking for. I mean, shit, my kid keeps finding cash and money, for God's sakes. She's now up to 100. And what I say, she was 100, and she's at $115 now that she has found my child. So anyway, thank you all for coming on yourself. And oh, look what Demi wrote. This is really pretty. So love yourself. I love the show today. Got to run. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. And we're over time anyway, but thank you, Demi, for coming on. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate everybody for coming on. And we love all the comments. We love blasting my music in the car. Yay. Alrighty, it's great. And so getting ready for, and there's Chenille, the memories you're making with your daughters. Oh yes, I agree with you, Chenille, for sure. Absolutely. And I'm very fully aware of that. That's the point, is I'm really, really aware of it. And I'm in the moment and very present. And been very intentional for that. And yes, look at Ana Laura.
What do you know? My mom used to always tell me since I was little, you're going to be late to your own goddamn funeral.
Yeah.
Because I was late being born, 4 hours late getting married when I didn't want to. My kids were 2 weeks late being born, both of them. And I said, yeah, they're going to lose my body somewhere before it gets incinerated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Probably. All right. So just a couple banners before we go. Don't forget to keep subscribing and sharing. We got up to, what is it? Oh, I know. It was 107 subscribers. We want 1,007 now. We're getting greedy, but yes, we want that. We want that. Proudly. I do want to do a shout out to Sarah Salter. If you definitely want to travel and you want somebody to have your back, Sarah is the person. And it's really fantastic to have a travel advisor, because any little thing that goes wrong or any changes that need to be made, not to mention she made this kick-ass itinerary of all these places to visit. Even though we didn't get a chance to do a lot of them, it still was fantastic to just have this. It really was. And then again, if you want to donate to the Badass Possibilities Tour, you can. I'd be grateful. And I have a Venmo and Cash App. And then for Thursday is this Friday. So we can't forget, because you're going to be in Puerto Rico for this. So this Friday we have, let me take that one off, is we have Viva Moms After Dark, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Word of Mom Radio, Blog Talk Radio. So please tune in for that. And I think the next thing that we're talking about on Tuesday, I didn't put it up as a banner, but we're just talking about. I was going to say it, but I didn't. I forgot to write it down. It's about doing what we said we're going to do. That's what it is. It's about getting shit done, basically. So, all right.
It's awesome.
Oh, and there's Michelle. Good morning, Michelle.
I bet you
Good morning. So, all right. Well, anything else, Gladiator Guru, before we go?
I mean, gente, the Possibilities Tours is a blessing and it was a choice. But, when we sow our oats, I'm really hoping I'm speaking my gardener. That's right. And then I want somebody to look over at somebody and said, she never really liked you much. So you're going to have to be that person, Iris, because they're going to be nosy people just making sure it is me that died. Anyway, the Possibilities Tour is something we should all do, whether it's as long as she does, whether it's heading to that part of the country as she is. It's something that we should do, whether we do it solo or we do it with the people we love. So because this is the Possibilities Tour, and yeah, it was a choice, let's help her. She put her Venmo up and her Cash App up, and every little bit counts. $1 here, $1 there, because it does count. And you know what? Even though she might be on her strict budget because she's good with that, kids are kids. They're going to want ice cream maybe twice a day. And how are you going to say no to somebody who's been sitting in the car for a while? And it's those little things that we want to make sure that the trip goes with no, negative vibes. And we don't want to enable our children, but we want to let them know that this is a special trip we all took, and thank you for your time. And I know it's uncomfortable at times. So here, go have another fucking ice cream.
And listen, remember too, though, so Gladiator Guru is getting ready to go on. I mean, technically yours is a possibility tour as well. It's a 5-day tour to Puerto Rico, but it is all about possibilities.
It's business. It's a business trip for me.
Absolutely. So, and again, we it's time for us to go, but we appreciate you staying on longer. So just take it from us, just go do something and post it. Tag us in your pictures, post it on social media and tag us on the Viva page to say, this is where I went this weekend and it was different, or this is what I did this weekend that was different, then go zip lining, go whatever, go just anything that you've never done before or you haven't done in a long time. Just go out and enjoy and do something, multiple things throughout the summer. So that being said, we need to go because Gladiator Guru's got to get ready for her trip, and I got to pack us up, and we got to go soon. So everybody, thank you for coming on. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, I'll be putting a video out on Moments con Margarita so that you can follow me through the beautiful farms of Puerto Rico. And remember, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone. Bye.